In Fairy Tail, there are 5 of the most exciting battles, and the last one is definitely going to be recorded in history. Fifthly, in the Phantom Lord arc, Gajeel once destroyed the Guild Hall of Fairy Tail and tried to provoke guild members and the Master, but the Master didn't care. Later, Gajeel attacked Levy. At that moment, Master Makarov became extremely angry, because the guild building was just an external possession, but when a guild member whom he regarded as his own child was humiliated like this, no parent would turn a blind eye. So the next day, they directly ignored the Truce Treaty and charged into the Phantom Lord Guild. Fourthly, during the Tenro Island arc, Hades, the Master of the Dark Guild, attacked Tenro Island. Facing absolute suppression of strength, the 5-member team including Natsu tried their best but couldn't even harm the opponent a little bit. Just as Hades decided to end the lives of the 5 of them, a bolt of lightning fell from the sky. Laxus, an S-class mage, blocked Hades' fatal blow and successfully brought a turning point to this battle. Thirdly, in the Grand Magic Games arc, Elsa participated in the Tower of Heaven competition. The rule was that according to the drawn number, the contestants would take turns entering the Tower of Heaven and defeat the number of monsters they had chosen. There were a total of 100 monsters, and the competition would end when all the monsters were defeated. Elsa was the first contestant to enter the Tower of Heaven. Logically, she only needed to choose to defeat 51 monsters to easily win the game, but Elsa directly chose to challenge all 100 monsters and successfully cleared the level, astonishing the whole audience and inspiring all the guild members. Secondly, in the same episode, Elsa defeated all the monsters, which made it so that the other contestants could only use the magic power tester to determine the winner. Kena from the same guild was already drunk before it was her turn. At the same time, several previous contestants successively scored high marks that shocked the whole audience. All these things made everyone not optimistic about this ordinary girl who was the last to play, but when she took off her clothes, her eyes were full of determination. She used the guild's most powerful attack magic, Fairy Glitter, in front of everyone. The magic power tester was damaged due to being overloaded, and the whole audience cheered for this plain-looking woman. Firstly, in the last 2 episodes of the first season, Natsu, Gajeel, Sting, and Rogue had a famous War Dragon brawl. All 4 of them performed beyond their normal levels, and both sides became more and more courageous as the battle went on. But in the face of the gap in experience and strength, Sting and Rogue, the younger generation, evolved again and again, and Natsu effortlessly defused their attacks. It was right here that the Fairy Tail Guild, which was initially the underdog when it first appeared, successfully made a comeback and became the first in the whole competition, once again proving the value of being the strongest on the continent. Do you think there are other exciting battles in Fairy Tail? You are welcome to communicate in the comments section. The Grand Magic Games arc, definitely the peak of the Fairy Tail series. Despite the limited budget in the first season, it actually created an arc that couldn't be surpassed by the subsequent over 200 episodes. There are at least 4 reasons for this. Firstly, the art style of the entire first season is simple, and the animations are smooth. Moreover, based on the original manga, very distinctive magic circles were added. The Grand Magic Games arc especially gave numerous fans a novel visual experience. Therefore, I'm personally quite disappointed with the decision to remove the magic circles after the second season. How about you? Secondly, there is an interlude that runs through the whole Fairy Tail series, which is exactly the background music I'm using now. The melody is passionate and inspiring, full of a sense of power. Every time the music plays, it's as if you can see the members of the Fairy Tail Guild bravely fighting to protect the guild and their partners. It's a classic melody that represents the spirit of the guild. When the later plot was in a mess, but this music was still used, the animation team really should have kowtowed to the music composer, Yasuharu Takanashi. Thirdly, before this arc, the core members of the Fairy Tail Guild experienced the Tenro Island incident and disappeared for 7 years. During these 7 years, their partners were constantly bullied, and the guild declined from being the #1 in the country to the bottom. Now, participating in this competition, everyone also shoulders the mission of revitalizing the guild and boosting the morale of their partners. In this arc, Fairy Tail made a comeback from being the underdog to winning the championship, successfully achieving a rebirth from adversity. This kind of story about doing one's best for one's partners is something that people love to see in any era. Fourthly, the Grand Magic Games arc truly accomplished the creation of a group portrait for the first time, allowing everyone to witness the power of friendship and bonds. At the same time as the conclusion of the first season, Urza's 100 challenge right, Lucy's magic Fairy Glitter, and the big battle among the 4 Dragon Slayers made the fans excited almost every episode, fully engaging their emotions. Only the Grand Magic Games arc can achieve such a level. All in all, the Grand Magic Games arc has reached the top level in terms of visuals, music, the portrayal of the group of characters, and the orthodox, passionate story. Through the gamified narrative of the competitive events and the structure of multiple storylines running parallel, this arc finally pushed the entertainment value of the shonen action anime to a new height. It truly deserves the title of the strongest arc. If you have any other favorite plots in Fairy Tail, you're welcome to communicate in the comment section. Many people hold the view that the female protagonist, Lucy Heartelia, is a weak and useless character, but this perspective is far from objective. First, while she was born into a wealthy family, Lucy indeed starts off lacking in strength and experience. Debuting as a rookie mage, she's repeatedly portrayed as a character who needs rescuing in early battles, leading many to label her a weakling in the first 150 episodes. Second, Lucy uses summoning magic, which pales in comparison to the flashy close-quarters combat styles of Natsu and Gray. Even though she summons the Celestial Spirit King early on, her reliance on ethereal allies makes her her impact less memorable on those drawn to brute force battles. Third, her teammates are overwhelmingly powerful. Top-tier fighters like the Fire Eater Natsu, the Ice Manipulator Gray, and the armor-wielding Urza Scarlet. In their shadow, summoning a cow can seem underwhelming by comparison. Lastly, the early stereotype of Lucy as a sidekick overshadows her latent strengths. She's always been intelligent, composed, and strategically savvy, traits overshadowed by her louder, flashier peers. Throughout the series, she evolves from a rookie to a skilled mage. Starting from the Grand Magic Games arc, she delivers countless standout moments, proving her growth and cunning, qualities that define a true fairy tale wizard. So what else about Lucy piques your interest? Feel free to discuss in the comments. In Fairy Tail, there are 5 of the most popular couples, and the last one will surprise you. 5. Natsu and Lucy. As the central couple throughout the series, the bond between Natsu and Lucy is the very essence of Fairy Tail. From the moment Lucy was saved by Natsu when she first joined the guild, to the numerous life and death adventures they shared together, Natsu's protective instincts towards his wife and Lucy's gentle support complement each other perfectly. In the Gamarant ranking, Nalu has long topped the popularity list and is regarded as a fated couple. Gray and Juvia. The ice and water combination of Gray and Juvia is a classic example of sweetness and bittersweetness in the hearts of fans. Juvia fell in love with Gray at first sight since the Phantom Lord arc, and her iconic phrase, Gray Sama, and her persistent pursuit have become classic moments. Here's a little known fact. In the 5th episode of the anime, Fortune Teller once said that Gray would face a water-related disaster and a woman-related disaster, which refers to his encounter with Juvia. In the 2025 fan vote, Gray and Juvia even topped the list with a 42.7% support rate, indicating their high popularity. Urza and Jalal are one of the most intense couples in Fairy Tail. The two had a deep bond since their childhood due to their imprisonment in Tower of Heaven. However, Jalal was brainwashed and became a villain, causing their relationship to break down. Although Jalal later decided to atone for his sins and founded Crime Sorciere, the two have never clearly confessed their feelings for each other. Their unresolved feelings have become a regret in the hearts of fans. Gajeel and Levi win fans over with their contrast, cuteness, and delicate emotions. After Gajeel transformed from an antagonist in the Phantom Lord arc to a member of Fairy Tail, he gradually showed his doting side towards Levi. Levi's tolerance and support, in turn, have nurtured their relationship. The two had a child in the final chapter of the manga, becoming one of the few couples who clearly had a happy ending and are regarded as the sweetest official couple by fans. 1. Zeref and Mavis. The forbidden love between Zeref and Mavis is highly regarded for its tragic color and epic sense. Both of them were victims of the Anxarum curse. Zeref was separated from his lover because of his immortality, while Mavis's spirit has long guarded the guild. Their love line runs through the main plot. From their innocent interactions in the flashback arcs to Mavis's sacrifice to lift the curse in the final chapter, their bond that transcends life and death has deeply moved fans. Whether it is the fated bond of the main characters, the delicate emotions of the supporting characters, or the tragic love of the villains, these couples have become an integral part of the work with their unique charm. So, do you know any other couples in Fairy Tail? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Why Lisana can never win over Lucy. Firstly, Lisana and Natsu are childhood sweethearts. They got to know each other in the guild when they were young, and they hatched happy together. Lisana even made an agreement with Natsu that she would become his bride in the future. However, Natsu seems to regard Lisana as his younger sister. Secondly, Lucy's status as the female protagonist means that she and Natsu often complete guild commissions together. After Natsu got used to going on adventures in a team with Lucy, Gray, and others, he formed a new emotional dependence. This kind of battle partner relationship was established during the period when Lisana was absent, and it is difficult to be replaced. Finally, and most importantly, this is the reason why Lisana can never replace Lucy. Lisana once died, in a sense. Lisana's family once took on an S-class mission together. During the process, Lisana was sucked into another world and disappeared for 2 years. Natsu always thought that Lisana was dead. In order to ease the longing for the deceased, the partners rarely mentioned Lisana's name. This also led to Natsu's feelings for Lisana gradually fading. When Lisana returned later, although Natsu was surprised, he showed more of the value he placed on the partner who was lost and then found again, rather than the throbbing of love. At the same time, Lisana's experiences with Edelus made her personality more mature. After her return, she focused more on the bond with her siblings Mirajan and Elfman, as well as on teamwork in guild missions, rather than continuing the hazy affection from their childhood. All in all, the relationship between Lisana and Natsu stays in the beautiful memories of their childhood. On the other hand, Lucy, with her company during overlapping time and space, adventures through life and death, and the two-way nature of emotional expression has become Natsu's irreplaceable soulmate. Fire Force and Soul Eater share the same worldview. This is an astonishing secret that I discovered after watching the latest episode of Fire Force. If you don't mind spoilers, let me tell you that this moon indicates that Soul Eater is the future story of Fire Force. You might be surprised by this because the two works seem to have no connection at all. But actually, in Fire Force, Shinra Kusakabe becomes stronger and stronger and awakens the form of Shinra Banshaman. At that time, Shinra had already obtained the power of a god. He can reshape the world by controlling fire, energy, and other substances, and can even create light. When this world is burned out and on the verge of destruction, Shinra Shinra uses his divine power to create a new world. In this new world, all the black flames turn into streams and plants. He also tries to create animals that have long been extinct. However, these creations are all based on Shinra's imagination, so these animals have absurd appearances. More importantly, Shinra created the universe of Soul Eater and also created Lord Death and bestowed upon him the title of the new god. By the way, do you still remember the most eye-catching but also puzzling setting in Fire Force? That is the Infernals and the phenomenon of spontaneous human combustion. In order to prevent such tragedies from happening, Shinra completely eliminated pyrokinesis. As a result, a world filled with death and souls was born. And there is another piece of evidence. In the final chapter of Fire Force, you can easily find characters like Maka Albarn and Death Kid, but all of this takes place a long time later. Do you have any other interesting thoughts about the Fire Force? You are welcome to communicate in the comments section. Defeating enemies with a butt? This might be the most absurd battle I've ever seen. Against the enemy Gold, Squad 8 found themselves in a tough spot. For some reason, Gold could manipulate iron objects. If Maoran attacked recklessly, the squad's own gear would become weapons against them. From the sidelines, Victor analyzed Gold's abilities frantically, determined to find a weakness. In this world, all powers, no matter how absurd, tie back to fire and heat. Just as Victor pieced together the clues, Gold had already seized control of Squad 8's weapons. It turned out Gold infused heat into their golden armor, converting it into magnetism to command all metal on the battlefield. Then Tamaki took a gamble. Leaping high, she used a prepped amplifier to unleash a move akin to Natsu's Fire Dragon's Blaze, but Gold, with maxed out heat resistance, shrugged it off easily. Now, Victor's strategy was their last hope. Lisa briefly distracted Gold while Tamaki stuck out her butt and used flames to form a makeshift cauldron. The team threw nearby iron objects into it, melting them into molten iron. Tamaki carried the scorching liquid and charged at Gold, letting it stick to the golden armor, disabling the magnetic ability. A single bullet followed, taking Gold down. No sooner had the battle ended than Squad 8 faced the next enemy, but their unity made me believe no foe was invincible. Side note, during the fight, I couldn't keep up with Victor's logic at all. What's a thermite reaction? Why does heating gold create magnetism? Since when does iron melt at 2,800 degrees Celsius? And why did the molten iron even stick to gold armor? Hoping someone can explain these?